This is the Hakuna Raisi show, and today we're doing a book review. The book is Insights to Wealth Creation, and the author himself, the lion. If you've watched our previous videos, you will see the rise and the fall of the lion. You are one of the youngest authors I've met.
Yeah.
And it's an inspiration, by the way.
Thank you.
Personally, when I hit the third floor, I had a lot of thoughts in my mind, and I started writing and scribbling. But I've never organized it in any book. Why did you choose this topic of finance and wealth creation?
Okay, yeah, the journey actually started in my first year.
Yes.
Initially, I never used to think in this direction of finance and money. I think because by that time, that was Form 6, where school, the parents provide for everything.
Yeah.
You are still inside school. You know, school is another system we shall discuss, but it's like prison. You're locked. You don't think outside the box. But then when we came out to the real world campus first year, where you're living alone, they give you money. You're supposed to budget for it, buy this and this. Sometimes money, if you misuse money, what you get. What inspired me was it was my first class and communication skills for lawyers. Now this lecturer gave us an assignment. I don't know why, but to me, I know it is God who sent her to open my mind. You get it?
Okay.
Her assignment was read these two books. That is assignment. That was the cut. 30 marks for that unit. Read these two books, write a book review about them, and that is your cut. Those are your marks. And by the way, I got an A in that class. So, you know which books these were?
No.
The first one was The Jewish Phenomenon. The second one was The Outliers. All these books about money and finance, they talk about money and finance. Jewish Phenomenon is a book that explains the Jews are the richest people in this world. Top richest men in the world are all Jews. Okay? Then this book was explaining why are Jews rich. Okay? So I read this book, I'm like, So I'm reading about billionaires, they're rich, the principles, they do what they practice. They're programmed from childhood, the Jews, to become rich. They're programmed from childhood, their system programs them to be rich. And all the principles are from the Bible that they follow, and they are rich. What you guys don't know is that Mark Zuckerberg is a Jew.
Okay.
And the top 10 people in the Forbes, the top 20 people in the Forbes, the guy listed the statistics, they're Jews. Top 20, you get? Yeah, so I'm like, oh, there's something about money, there's something about finance. I got interest, okay? Yeah, so afterwards, I went to the Outliers. Outliers is also talking about successful people, but the Outliers is explaining it in a different way. Yeah. So the Outliers, I read it. It was it had a different perspective. It was saying these people are successful because of, okay, in simple words, they were saying chance.
Okay.
For example, they said, why did Bill Gates build Microsoft? It's because he grew up in a community and a school where he had access to computer. So he had access to computer, which by then computers were very rare. A computer by then was a full house, a very big house, one computer. So for him, he had access to it. So the chance that for him he has access to a computer, yet maybe that was the only computer in the whole. So he had the chance. You get it?
I understand. It's like people come up with innovations because they are in
There
that field.
are advantages.
Yeah.
There are
Actually,
things
that is
which
the
help
effect
them.
of how environment really affects you in some way, in a very big way.
Yeah.
The fact that he was in an environment where it had access to the computer and stuff at a very young age, and that really affected the trajectory of his life.
So, EODU, in that first year, you're in an environment supposed to do a book summary of 2 books.
So I'm an outlier.
You did it. Now, how did you become an author out of that?
Yeah. So when I read this book, the Outliers bored me. I didn't believe in that. That you know, you read a lot. They say the literate people. There's a quote that says the literate people of the next century will not be the men who have gone to school. It will be the men who can learn, relearn, and unlearn what they have learned. So you don't accept every garbage. Some reject. When you're reading a book, don't believe everything there. And you be like, this one, you reason with it, reject some knowledge. Some is a lie, you reason out with it. So me, Outliers, I said, no, this can't be, because it's not okay. Maybe they got some way of explaining it, but to me, I don't believe in it. But the Jewish phenomenon, I believed in it 100%. So it kept in my mind. I'm like, so these Jews are rich. I knew that this is not the only book talking about Jews being rich. I went deep into research. Why is it that the Jews are rich? I went and watched YouTube videos. What do they do? Like, I went deep into Jewish things. And then I fell on another book called The Biblical Principles of Becoming Rich by Daniel Lapin, a billionaire in America, but he's a Jew. So I went and started reading that book of Principles of Becoming Rich, but from the Bible. Now this guy got the Old Testament. For them, they believe in only the Old Testament. He picked out all the principles in the Old Testament, and then he put them down there. And these are the principles which will make you rich, and the one that make us Jews rich. You get it? Then I said, but the principles I was reading here, honestly, they are the same principles in the Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
Then that was first year COVID came. We went home for COVID. We went home, there was COVID. We were locked. You remember the lockdown?
Yes.
We were bored. Were you there in the lockdown?
I was there.
Bored. TV's having only bad news. They are only talking about COVID. We are scared. People
People
are
are
going to die.
dying.
What? So we're there at home, we're so bored. You imagine being in the house, you can't go out in one place for 1 month, like in the house. Our dad will not let us leave the gate.
Yes.
So one time I was listening to a sermon. I also thank this guy. He's called Joel Austin. He's a preacher.
Yeah, I know him.
You know him?
Yeah.
I thank him. He's the one who inspired me to start reading. So one time I was at home, and as I was listening to his sermon. The guy said, when you have idle time, maybe you're driving, put a CD, a tape which is talking about something, which is teaching you knowledge. When you're at home, you're bored, get a book and read. Like, accumulate knowledge whenever you're idle. Use your idle time to accumulate knowledge. So I said, now we have been here in COVID, we are locked in the house, I'm doing nothing, we're watching TV only. I said, let me read. Let me get books to read. I downloaded books online. But I downloaded books only about money because I wanted to only read about money.
Yes.
I don't know why I love the topic of money. Then in the process of reading, I said, but now I've read a lot. I said, why don't I write a book using this idle time?
Yes.
That's when I sat down and I began writing this book during that COVID. I wrote it during COVID. During that period, I wrote. And then I actually called the publisher. I told him I'm writing a book and I'm going to start depositing money slowly, so that by the time I'm done with it, also the money is full and you publish the book. He said, fine. So I started writing it, and that's how this book came out.
Ah, nice. I think you've even answered my next question, which was your motivation. So you have interest in building finance, becoming wealthy.
Spirituality.
If you do research and you talk to a lot of people, generally life is spiritual. You get? Life is spiritual generally. We are all spirits. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, we are spirits and life is spiritual.
Yeah.
Have you heard of people who say, let's go to the juju, let's go to the witch doctor, we get money? You've heard that? Voodoo, you call it voodoo, witchcraft.
I've even seen those guys putting up the posts, the
Uh-huh.
posters.
It's everywhere in society.
Have you heard about Illuminati, that you want to get rich, you join Illuminati?
Yeah.
Yes,
Wait,
they have
don't
their
like it.
headquarters here in Nairobi.
Spiritual shit.
So all that is spiritual, right?
Yeah.
The people who get wealth and make money from the dark side of life, they go spiritual. The people who get wealth and make wealth from the right side of light, they also go spiritual. You've had people complaining, but these pastors and these prophets, they are so rich. These prophets are so rich. Have you seen a broke prophet? The real prophets of God. None of them is broke. They're all very, very extremely
So
rich.
do you believe there are principles that these guys follow?
Of course, there are
So-
principles. They have studied the Bible 1,000 times. They have picked these principles. The reason why the Jews are very rich, the principles they practice are all from the Old Testament. Do you know that Muslims are rich?
Yes,
Do you know why Muslims are rich?
I know.
They also practice
They
spirituality.
practice
They
spirituality.
follow the Quran.
And even the Jews, what they do is, if you are doing something, they will buy from you. If it's bad, they will still buy from you and tell you the feedback for you to improve, but they will not buy anywhere. So they have, even the Muslim, the way you're saying. The other guy who I was talking to,
They
is a
support
Muslim.
each other,
Yeah,
that's
he
your
was
point.
saying, when you come up as a Muslim, if you're given a role, you will do it faithfully. Let's say you are my brother. You have an enterprise and
Yeah.
you employ me. I will do my work faithfully. And then when my time comes, you and my other brothers can even raise $1 million shillings and say, Edward, go do this. And then when it comes to somebody else's turn to be helped, when you knock at my door to say, we need to contribute for Chacha to bring up his business, I'll also comply. So they have that one.
So do you think, can you give us like four
Principles. Yeah.
At least draw it from the Bible that actually get your point.
As Christians, they say you pay tithe.
Right?
God tells us when you pay tithe, I'll open the windows of heaven, and I'll pour to you in abundance.
Alright.
Now you'll ask yourself why people don't practice these principles. It's because they had to practice. Imagine I give you 100,000, I'm telling you chop 10% and take to church. Very hard.
Now, I also have a problem of taking the 10% to church. Because these guys, these guys are doing business with this money.
I know.
And the reason is this. The reason is this.
Yes.
A pastor will stand there and preach and tell you to pray to solve your problem. But if they want something, they tell you to contribute.
See, it's a principle in the Bible, and the reason as why many people are not rich is because they think all pastors are thieves, and because they go to the wrong pastors, maybe you get, but they are the right pastors and the pastors. It's for them. They don't ask you to bring money because they want it. If they don't ask you to bring money, God punishes them. Because God says you're selfish, you don't want them to prosper. So it's a principle. Taking money to church. When you take it, then, that's one principle. The other principle is called being generous. Do you know why all these rich men, the Bill Gates, they have charities? It's a principle and a natural law that when you give, it has to come back to you, but multiply.
Giving is better than receiving.
Yeah.
That I agree.
Have you realized how Jews are very generous?
Yes.
They are taught that there's a way they divide their finance. Part of their money, when they earn, part of it goes to charity, others go to church, others go to saving, others go to investment. Like there's a way they break down their finances. So giving, it's a natural law. When you do something evil, it will come back to you. That's why there's a saying that what goes around comes around.
Alright.
You get. So when you give, it will come back to you. But when it's coming back, it comes back multiplied. So that's why stingy people don't like giving.
Stingy men.
Yeah, stingy people are broke, most of them, because you have to let go for it to come back. You have to sacrifice for it to come back. Yeah. So the evil people sacrifice children and goats and cows to Satan, and they get wealth. But they must sacrifice their children. And they join the Illuminati. I'm told they ask you your mother, kill her. What sacrifice? Sacrifice is a principle of spirituality. You have to sacrifice something for you to get. You get it?
Yes.
That's why Jesus
get
was
your point.
sacrificed. You get, Jesus was sacrificed. You get it? Yeah. Was not sacrificed. Jesus was crucified. You get it? But he took it all for us. So another principle is giving. You have to be generous.
That's number 2. Number 3.
Another
Okay,
principle.
before we go to the next principle, that principle of being generous, I think why some of us are in conflict with that, especially the point you say that some pastors
That was
they
typing.
measure on
I'm a
that
generous dude.
principle of giving.
Yes.
Like it's better to give than to receive. So some members of the clergy that they really measure on that phrase, that
And they've
principle,
misused it.
and
They've
they
misused
actually take advantage of it to exploit others, the congregation and stuff.
What you have
Yeah.
to know is, in this world, it's a world of two things: darkness and light, good and bad. Every movie that you've watched,
Yes.
it is talking about two things. There's a bad guy and a good guy.
good
They're
guy.
fighting. Say every movie you've watched, everything you've done is about light and darkness. So you choose one side. So there are
Okay.
people will be on this other opposite side, and there are people will be on the light side. So it's your choice. You can't force someone to be on the good side or to be on the bad side. They decide. So the bad ones are there, the good ones are there. Just like there is fake money, there is real money. You get. But without fake money, we shall not know that there's real money. You get.
But I want us to dive, because I think we're talking about wealth creation.
Mhm.
And Africans or Africa is it's supporting the whole world, but it's the poorest continent. Okay, so today I was just scrolling on TikTok, then I saw a live. I think this pastor is in Uganda. I don't know if you've seen him. He has some holy water, and he sprays on you when you pass by as he's praying. I think we've said that building wealth is spiritual, and you have to have something. Now, you can imagine a whole congregation just believes that I will give this money to this guy, he will spray some water on me, and he will pray for me, and wherever I go, I will succeed. Is that not a form of brainwash?
It's not a form of brainwash. Have you ever gone to that church?
No, but I've seen that pastor. I'll show you the clip.
But have you ever gone there?
No, I've not.
Have you ever experienced it and said it works or it doesn't work?
The kind of religion I've exercised in my life, it's different.
Okay. If you don't know about something, don't argue against it. You get? only if you've got there, experienced it, it has not worked for you, or you've discovered that it doesn't work. If someone comes and tells me Edu is a bad guy, then I ask that someone, have you ever talked to Edu? No. Have you ever spent time with Edu? No. Is he your friend? No. So how do you know he's a bad guy? I hear people saying he's a bad guy. You see?
That's
Eh?
nice.
You see?
Okay.
Eh?
Tell me.
Yeah, you get it. That is, even in law, as a lawyer, we are told not to believe in what in law they will not accept evidence of hearsay. It's hearsay. You get it. So spirituality works. Why is it that people don't go and say a witch doctor comes and gives you feathers and what tells you put under the bed? Why is that people don't complain about that? Those are called weapons of faith. You get it? They activate their faith. So when the witch doctor gives someone a feather and some maybe a skull and what, and says go and put them under the bed or put them here, then things will work for you. People are okay with that. That is spirituality. But when it comes to this other side of church, what people don't know is that Satan is a copycat. Satan copies what God does. God is light, he says, may I be darkness. It's just the opposite of everything.
Human nature is meant to question everything. Yeah, we work on belief, and you're meant to question everything. Human nature is meant to work with something tangible, something, information they can see, information they can perceive, something they can hold on, something they can believe in. People like what they can see with their own eyes. Yeah, and that's what these witch doctors and everything do a lot. Because I personally have seen all these witch doctors kind of thing happen with my own eyes. Yeah, I don't know, these guys operate wonderful illusions. Yeah, and when you see them, they are real. Chimba pale kidogo utapata some coins with blood attached together. Oh, this person, your auntie did this, and you will find them. You dig somewhere you've been playing around in your house every day. Someone will break the concrete in your home and remove something that has been there. So, and that thing tends to gain people's faith a lot. Yeah, and so people like things they see. And I think those pastors who are really not from, who are not really practicing the word, they want to give people something tangible. Yeah. When my pops was sick, we went to some church. I don't remember the name, but some church in Nairobi. The guy came. We went there. We stayed the entire night. The guy said, "Mafuta was 7,000. The anointing. Give 7,000, and then you are going to get the anointing, the full anointing." I remember I tithed the 5,000 first. Yeah. After 5,000, we gave the 7,000. We were around to go up in front there. They prayed for my dad. He was on a wheelchair. Then they anointed the full body, and then for me, I stepped on the oil and everything. And I don't question God, yeah. But also, someone saying you step on this oil, your dad will be walking tomorrow. What? These things. That's why now people start questioning Christianity. It starts becoming a brainwash. Really, someone who is on a paralysis cannot walk tomorrow, unless God Himself wants to. And if God wants to, you walk here. I believe. So some of these things now make people start questioning aspects of Christianity, yeah? And it's true. Principles of money and the guidelines given in the Bible, they work hand in hand. And what the Bible teaches about money is about sacrifice. Because when you can learn how to sacrifice, how to tithe and everything, then you can learn how to take risks, right?
Yeah.
Because when you give without expecting back, you know how to take a risk. You know how to go for that business because you're not expecting anything back. You're just making chances. Yeah. God says you try Him.
All right.
Go give to someone. Go help someone. Help the ones in need. Just try me, and then I will respond to you. Yeah. To be honest, people have felt God in different ways. Yeah. We can't say we have seen God physically. No one knows. We know we are in the form of God. We were created in the form of God, but no one knows what God looks like. We just have to believe. A man without beliefs is a very dangerous man.
Yeah,
A man who doesn't believe in anything, you are just there. Is a very dangerous man.
At least believe in something.
Yeah, because when you believe in something, at least you have principles that guide you.
That's true.
There's what I can't do to Ben because I have my kind of faith. There's what I can't do to my brother. There's what I can't do to you. And there's some guidance I'll be following. Someone who doesn't believe in anything is a dangerous man. They can act and react in any way possible, anytime.
Yeah,
They have no control to emotion. They have no control to hunger. There's nothing certain about them.
Because you think that there are laws that when you're bad by, you get wealth. So I think they're applying those laws without knowing, and they work for them. There are laws that when you apply, whether you're a Christian or not, you become rich. So that's the point.
There are certain guidelines that you're told, if you do this, this one happens. Yeah. So you believe, like, when you're a man, yeah, you have a role. Let's say, let's start from the family. You have the basic role in the family. Yeah. When you're a man, you are a provider, you are a protector, you are the head of the family. Yeah. And you are supposed to act only in accordance of those principles. Yeah. As a man, nothing should bar you from providing, no matter the circumstances. Yeah. So those are principles and guidelines. So, and you see, when you portray yourself as this image of that kind of guy who, no matter what happens in your life, you're always out there trying to make things work, trying to make things right, trying to, you're working. It doesn't matter whether there is an emotion or something, whether you're going through anything, you put yourself out there. Then you find that everything else comes to you. Yeah. Good family comes to you, good friends come to you. Yeah. Everything else wants to relate with you. And I'm saying this because I've experienced both the good side of it and the weak side of it. Yeah, I've felt sometimes I'm down and I've somehow become reckless, and I've beat myself up to it because this and that is happening in my life. And at that moment when you feel like shit, if I'm to say, and you're really down, and you don't act on it, you don't really stand up and act on it, even those good friends you have, they start questioning your ability, your mindset. They start questioning how you do your things. Yeah, even those people who are closest to you, they'll start talking to you. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Yeah, what matters is there are things you are supposed to do, and you have to accomplish them. When we talk about money, there are principles apart from give and you get and everything. Let's say there is a way business works. Yeah, you have to take risks. You have to make calculated plans. You have to take good debt. Yeah, you can't always go save your money and just chill. You have to use your money. Try think of how you can replicate it. You have to give your time for money. You have to go work somewhere. You have to put yourself out there. All these things, when you try and follow them, they work. Yeah.
Second Chronicles 26:5. It talks about a king. It's called King Uzziah, who was a king at 16 years old. And I can even say the Bible says that in the days of Zechariah, this king sought to seek God, and God made him prosper. And everything that I've tried,
This is strong.
and everything that I've tried in my life seeking God, everything has really worked. I'm actually, for real, everything just in one point or in another way, it works. So there are principles in the Bible that I think people don't understand, and they actually work. There's also called the reward system of the kingdom. That's where the point of value comes in. We are not just dwelling on hope. We are following principles. So that's just one of the principles.
You have written a very good book there, Insight to Wealth Creation. All of us here are in Africa, right? And our continent is struggling in terms of economic growth. Huh? Yes. And it happens that we have the most resources, like the world needs resources from Africa. Maybe since you're talking about the insight in wealth creation, can you give Africa the insight that when they do this, this is what you're doing, and when you change to do this, Africa will be open to flourish?
Do you know why my first point here is called reason? Reason. My first point here is called reason. Do you know why Napoleon Hill, when he wrote the book, he said, think and grow rich? Think.
Yes.
He just said, just sit down and start thinking, you'll grow rich. Those guys are not better than us in any way. The Europeans, the Americans, they're not better than us in any way. There's only one thing that they're better than. The reason. Those guys think and say, if we do this, we do this, we do this. Like they sit down and think, and then they come and then they what? All the people who discovered these laws were thinkers. Yes. They just sat down, thought, and they got answers. Reason. Reason can be called thinking, but thinking is not reason. Reason is when you think deeply into a situation until you get the answers, okay? The only thing that these guys are better than us is the reason better than us, okay? Do you know that right now slave trade is still taking place? But that now not doing it as a way of coming and they remove your shirt and your throat, and then they tie you with the neck and they're not, but there's still slave trade. How many Kenyans go to Saudi Arabia to work as maids? Thousands. That's a slave trade.
They die there.
They die from there. You get.
Take themselves there.
Now this time they didn't come and force you. They sat down and said, how can you work on these people now in a nice way? They said, let's not bring them by force. let's bring them. Let us get a mechanism where they bring themselves, but they're still doing the same thing. Is there anything different they're doing from what was being done in slave trade?
No.
The only difference is the way of bringing them. They only said let's change the way of bringing them. They will still come. So slave trade is still taking place. So these people reason better than us. They don't, you know what? If I'm very rich and another brother is broke, do you know what humans would say? Humans would say this guy is rich because he goes to gym, he has a good body, he has a good taste, because he uses this hairstyle. So God do that. Let me give them one thing that is equal, that they will not debate.
Yeah.
Let me give them the mind.
The mind.
So you cannot say that this one is rich because he's fat. You cannot say this one is rich because he's tall. You can't say this one is rich because he's white or because this one is black. He said, they will be black, white, tall, short, fat, what? But there's one thing that will be equal, the mind. There you can't say, God, you gave me a small one, you're a big one. Okay?
Exactly.
All of us have almost 1.5 kgs of brain. Okay? So, your ability to use it is what matters. The brain is like a garden. Okay? When I go and plant maize in my garden, the maize will grow up. Then when the maize is growing up, the weed will also. It is my responsibility as the farmer to go and weed out the weed. Say, I don't want you here. I only want the maize. Then I leave the maize to grow. And then I what? Harvest. Okay? Now that is a rich man. The poor man, he will not plant anything.
Africa.
Yeah.
You're saying now Africa, we are poor, we've not
They will
planted.
not plant anything on the farm. They will leave it there like that. But the thing about the farm, whether you plant or not, something will grow. The weeds will grow. The weeds will grow. Okay?
True.
Are you going to eat weeds?
No.
The other guy will be eating maize. Hey, this guy is eating maize. For you, you have weed. There's
Yeah.
nothing to eat. But this guy can tell you, if you want me to give you some maize, come and polish my shoes. Or you come and have sex with my dog, I give you some maize. Okay? Because I see you as a what? As a slave. You
Yes,
get it?
yes.
That's a mindset. Now let's talk about reason. What is reason? Reason is to think deeply into something. Okay? Recently I discovered something. You cannot reason without a goal.
Yes.
I used to sit down and say, ask them, my brothers, they know me. I have a point where I go and sit down and I say, I'm going to meditate. Okay? I want to reason out some things. But whenever I used to go and reason, I would be like, okay, now what am I going to reason about? I think about the future, I think about my family, I'd be like, is that really necessary? I discovered that I need a goal for me to think through. For example, you need a goal, you have to say, I want to be rich. The Bible says money answers all things. Money is so powerful. Okay? So, you cannot live in this planet without money. So, if you have a goal and say, I want to be rich, now I'm reasoning. Imagine now me reasoning. I want to be rich. How can I be rich? To be rich, you have to invest. You have to invest in something. You have to have a product or a service. What product can I add? What product can I produce? Or what product can I serve it? I live in Georgia. Georgia guys don't have a good clinic. Meaning, if I set up a clinic here, I can do what? I can attract people who since there's no clinic, people will come and then I treat them, then I get money. So that's investment. What I've discovered is that most rich people, they actually don't know, they are not professionals in the businesses they do.
Yeah.
You get that I'm a rich, I have money. I go to the bank, I collect money. I set up a hospital, I'm not a doctor. I call doctors, I employ them. They come and work. They're working for me, they're making money and bringing me money. You get? So let me tell you guys, the only difference between you and a broke person, or a rich person and a broke person, is reason and information. Those two things. You need information for you to do something.
Let me take you back. We're talking about Africa.
Yeah.
Now, you want to say Africa, we don't have information.
Yeah. So, Ben asks, why is it that you're saying we don't reason? Why is it that these guys are fat and for us we're dying of malnutrition?
And we have everything.
And yet everything is here in Africa. This is the reason. These guys will come and tell you, you plant what? You plant food. After planting food,
We will buy.
we come and buy it from you guys because Africa has good weather. When we now they come and buy coffee from you in raw form at a very cheap price. Okay? Very, very cheap price. They come and take coffee, they carry it all to their country, process it, they make it packaged well nice, they send it back to you to Africa at a price you cannot even afford. How often do Africans take coffee?
Yeah.
You get, but
The
then
same thing is happening with Ghana, with cocoa, for chocolate.
you see, I was told here recently, I was asking why Kenyans don't have much food, and I was told recently here that there are some rich men here in this country, they buy all the food of Kenya and export it to a certain country. I don't know which country. Then after exporting, now they also want to go and buy food from Uganda, which I also sell it too expensive. You see that is foolish already. You get it?
Yeah.
Then what are you left with? And then those guys will bring it back to you, but at a higher price because they've added value to it. You get it?
Yeah.
So these people out on you. Okay, Africans, we have resources, but we didn't even know that we have resources. Right now, there's oil being drilled in Uganda, but who is drilling the oil? Total.
From outside.
Total is from where? UK. Is it UK? Do you know the percentage they're taking?
I don't know the percentage, but I know that.
The companies which are trying to help with all this construction of these things, China. Every road that is being constructed in Kenya, how many companies from Kenya are constructing those roads?
China.
Chinese.
You get SGR is all China.
The highway.
I'm trying to tell you that Africans don't reason, but these people reason. Chinese packed in their country. So many we don't have where to stay. You see?
The population is even close to Africa.
Yes.
Yeah.
What Africans don't know is opportunity is crisis. The word for crisis in Chinese, there's no word for crisis in Chinese. The word which means crisis in Chinese,
Means also
opportunity.
Yeah, but I saw that point in your book.
Have you seen a Chinese who comes here to Kenya and says, let me go and start life in Kenya, and then he goes and asks for a job? No Chinese does that. When they come to Kenya, they buy a shop somewhere, put up something, they start selling. They will.
China Square.
The education system of Africa is the fakest. It teaches you not how to reason. It teaches you to be
How-
a servant.
Yes, yes.
True
Okay,
that.
you get it. So start with the education system. The whole system in Africa that you're
Yeah,
supposed to
the
go to school.
leaders.
What. So you
Our
spend
leaders.
you spend years in school. After coming out of school, the next thing in your mind is I want to look for a job.
Yes.
Contrary to these other guys, when these guys come, have you realized that most of these billionaires didn't finish school? Most of them didn't go to school. I was asking myself, even in Uganda, the guys who own almost the buildings in Kampala, most of them didn't step in school. Meaning, they survived the brainwash.
Yes.
Meaning, they survived the system. You get?
That's true. That.
So, Africans have been brainwashed with the education system, but the people brainwashing them are very intelligent. For them, when they come here, they come and take all the money. I've asked you how many companies of Kenya are constructing roads in Kenya? None. You see, that's really
And
foolish.
when they are given,
And we
when
have
they are
brilliant
given,
minds. We have very brilliant minds.
the major roads are constructed by the Chinese, and when Kenyan contractors are given the job, they do it poorly, very poorly.
What they've learned in school.
Those are also principles.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, those are also principles. Why they
Yeah.
do work
Because
Why
you
do
badly.
70% theory and 30% practical. So when you're taking the field, you're not that efficient like that guy.
I think I've told you also, these guys, how many of them do you see looking for jobs? Look at their education system. Recently, they were saying that when you go to TikTok in China,
Yeah.
the TikTok is educating their people and programming them to be successful.
Sure.
The TikTok in Kenya are girls dancing and shaking booty 24/7.
That's
Okay?
Yes.
Okay? They have sent you social media to brainwash you properly. Okay? Social media is. So, you're programmed to be foolish and poor in Africa. The other side, you're programmed to be successful and prosperous in the other nations. You get?
So this is a constant war.
It's a war. I told you the world is just basically a war between good and evil. But the foolish ones will suffer. The Bible says my people suffer because of lack of knowledge. And when you don't have knowledge, you're ignorant. Okay? So let me break down some of the principles here that many people don't know. The first one is reason. We have discussed it.
Yes.
You cannot reason when you don't have information. The Bible in the book of Proverbs, Solomon was the richest man in the world. That one is a fact.
yeah.
Solomon says, seek knowledge rather than gold. I'm trying to tell you, don't go looking for gold. Look for knowledge. The difference between the broke person and a rich person is knowledge. He knows something that you don't know.
True.
You go to a doctor because the doctor knows medicine and you don't know medicine. So you have to pay the doctor some money for him to apply his knowledge on you. You go to a lawyer because the lawyer knows the law. You don't know. So knowledge. Okay? So get a field that you will specialize in, whereby when we say law in Kenya, Abnasir comes to my mind. We all know he has mastered the law. You get? When we say medicine, Nairobi West Hospital, Aga Khan Hospital, we know these guys have mastered medicine. You cannot find guys in Nairobi, Aga Khan telling you about law, no. But when you talk of medicine, they say, let's discuss that because that's their field. So, for you to reason, look for information first. Get a field and say, for me, I want to specialize in this field. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There's a full chapter he wrote about specialization. Specialize in one thing. You can't. They say he's a jack of everything,
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades and a what? A master of none. You've heard that saying.
That,
Jack
that,
of all
that
trades.
quote is not complete.
Eh?
I have forgotten the complete version.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a jack of all trades.
Eh.
Master of none. That's why I'm defending that quote.
By the master of none. Eh? So these are the principles that you should practice. Get something and say, for me, I'm going to master this area. Even lawyers do it. They say, me, I'm going to specialize in criminal law. So that when they say criminal law, we know we are going to
Yes,
this
we're
guy.
going to
You
war.
get it? So sit down and reason based on that what? The information. Number 2, choice. After getting a special area where you want to master and be specialized, like now when you talk of construction, we all think about China. Okay? When you talk of military, we talk about Russia. You get it?
When you think about vehicles, you think about Toyota.
Toyota,
Mazda.
yeah, you get it. Yeah, so the other thing that makes people fail in life is something called choice. The choices you make in life have repercussions
Consequences.
and they have consequences.
Yeah.
So you choose to be foolish or you choose to be wise. You choose to be rich or you choose to be poor. Everyone is living a life based on the choices they made. Whatever you are in your life, it is based on the choices you have made.
Yeah.
And they take you where you are right now. Okay? If only we learn to make good choices. Yesterday we were discussing it with Kefas last night and some other girl. I was telling them that the difference between the strong and the weak is choice. Because me, I'll come and say, I choose A. You get? People don't lack information. They have the information. But now the problem they have is choice. And they know the choice to make. They know that this is the right choice to make. But they will not make that choice. Do you know why? That choice is hard. That journey is hard. You get? Now, after choice comes another thing called courage. When God took away from Moses and gave Joshua, how many times did God tell Joshua, be courageous, have courage,
Confidence.
don't be afraid, be courageous. Courage. When I tell you right now, you can start up some business down there. It is very easy to say that, but now the courage to go and start now it takes us back to reason to think, how do I start, what do I do, like all that stuff. It takes a lot of courage.
And
You
to
get?
overcome
The fear.
the procrastination,
So, lack of courage is fear. Many people fear. If you know what these movies are doing and the social media is doing, it is simply instilling fear in people.
Selling fear.
Selling fear. You get? So people are so afraid. They tell you, when you start a business, when you come to, that's why they say when you're doing some things, don't tell some people. When they come and tell you, I want to start up this, so and so started it last time,
it failed.
so and so.
They give you every reason.
Yeah,
not to do
they
it.
give
Not to
you
do
a
it, yeah.
thousand reasons not to do it.
Fear.
You get?
Fear.
If you read that book called The 50th Law by 50 Cent,
By 50 Cent
And Robert Greene.
Robert Greene, yeah, I
they,
know the book.
they took a lot of time emphasizing fear.
Fear. Yeah.
They said fear, fear,
This
fear,
Robert
fear.
Greene of 48 Laws of
Yes, yes.
No. This
He's
is
the
another
one,
one. It's
he's the
called
one.
the fifth law.
This one's another than the 50th
Yeah,
Law.
it's
they
another
talk
one.
50
about. But it's the same author, he's saying it's the same
Same
author.
author,
Yeah.
yeah.
The same one.
So, lack of courage is fear. If you make, people know the choices to make. If I tell you that start a business and get a job, you very well know starting a business is a good idea. But now, you fear to start a business because there's fear you may not succeed. But a job, you get a job, you just be there, they pay you at the end of the month, they pay you comfort zone, you get. So,
Keeping you in a comfort zone.
if you get that courage and you kill the fear and you start a business, now when you start a business, it's not guaranteed that you're supposed to succeed. You're supposed to fail like at least 4, 3, 5 times. But some people who have started once and failed, they got done. You get? So this man told Napoleon Hill, don't write about success, write about failure. So that people know how these people failed. So that people know that big people you see are successful, they first failed a lot of times. You get? Before they what? They succeeded. So if we learn how to make good choices and the courage to follow up on those choices, you say, me, I'm going to start a business, that's my choice. And you build the courage and say, I'm going to start that business. Then you go and start actually. You don't know what's in front there, whether you're going to make it or not. Now that one takes us to risk. You get? You say if you don't risk, You can't succeed. Those who can't risk can't succeed.
My dad always used to punish me at home because I was just some skinny guy. He used to tell me push-ups, do push-ups. He used to make push-ups when he's caning you. He has to beat you, you have to do push-ups. He used to force me to box him. So I was like, this thing that was instilled my father with a lot of pain, and I've never wanted it because I used to see him as being rough on me. Why don't I try it? And now when you see, it's all about taking the step. There's a lot of fear in taking the step, yeah? Because you don't know what's lies ahead. But it's all about moving. It doesn't matter the journey. So when I said let me take the step, now I'm here. I don't hate myself. I love myself. I love the progress I've made, and I know the journey is awaiting me. It's big and it's long.
So there was this rich man, very rich. One time he said, I want someone to marry my daughter. Okay? So he said, the one who will marry my daughter, he went to a pool, swimming pool, put there crocodiles. And he said, the one who will swim from there, the other side of the pool up to here, is the one who will marry my daughter, and I will give him wealth. Okay? People collected in the village, saying, now who can do this? Who can do this? He put his daughter here, said, the one who will swim from there, there are crocodiles in this water, up to here, is the one who will marry my daughter. What was this guy testing? Who can risk? You get? So,
the courage?
as the rich man was still talking, some boy was in the pool swimming, the crocodiles are biting, he was fighting with them, fighting. He swam, they bit off one arm like this. By the time he reached the other side of the pool, he got out. But one arm is off, the crocodile has eaten one arm. The rich man said, this is the man who can risk. You've taken my daughter. Then the guy said, before you give me your daughter, who pushed me in the pool? What you're fearing, you can't fight it, but the fear is just stopping you. You get it? Let me tell you, my brothers, risk.
Risk.
When you go there, risk means you're sacrificing the little you have for what you don't know, but you're expecting, you're hopeful for the best. You get it? I have 50,000. Okay? I want to put it in a business. I'm not sure God knows whether it will succeed or not. You get? But if I don't risk, if I don't try it, will I know that maybe it was going to succeed?
Yes.
But if I don't try, will I know?
You will not.
So it's better, let me go and try. If it fails, one man said at least when you try again, this time you're not trying from zero. You'll come and say, why did it fail? Now you've started the journey. You find that it failed because of A, B, C, D. You say, I'm trying again, but this time I'll correct A, B, C, D. Then you try it again. Like that. At the end of it all, you will succeed. Thomas Edison, he tried the bulb, it failed 1,000 times. He kept trying until it came up. Okay? So when you're going for this journey, don't expect the best. The reason why very many people are failing, our lecturer was telling us, is that you're hoping, you think it is a must, it has to succeed. No, there will be some failure, but it's out of the failure that you're going to learn and correct and become better and succeed in this thing that you're trying to go for. Now from risk, it takes us to what they call faith. Okay? When you go there, you hope for the best, but prepare for that. Yes, you get it. Go and start with this thing, but now just hope for the best, though you're preparing for what? For the worst. You get it? These are all principles. You see, I've talked about reason, I've talked about faith, I've talked about risk, I've talked about choice, I've talked about goal. You have to have a goal. You get it? Many people say, I want to start something, but I don't have capital. Someone, I think, asked, where do you get the money to start? Where do you get the capital to start? The first capital for you to start with is you. And you're supposed to operate within the perimeters of reason and reality. The first capital is you. God said to Moses, what do you have? He said, I have a stick. He said, now go and do what I've told you with the stick. He said, the sea is here, God. What should I do? What do you have in your hands? I have a stick. Lift it up.
That's awesome.
The thing is, and these are principles Jews follow. If you read another book called Why Jews Succeed by another guy, I don't know. I've read a lot of them. You may not interpret the Bible properly, but the Bible was written in Hebrew. The people who translated it into English didn't translate directly the way it was supposed to be. So for you to understand some of these things, read the Jewish books. The Jewish books will bring out the exact meaning of what the scriptures were saying. You get? So, what do you have in your hands? I have 10,000. I have 5,000. Maybe I have 0.
I have a stick.
I have me. You get? So what do you have?
Moses.
The only thing you have is you. What do you have? You have your mind and you have 2 arms, you have 2 legs, you're very strong, energetic.
Yeah.
So, since this is what I have, what do I start with? Let me go to town, I carry some some things for these people. I carry from here, I take there. So I have energy. Let me go and lift some things from here to here. They will be paying me how much? 200 bob per day. 200 bob, I save 100 per day. You get it? You get it? So you're using what you have for now. You use it. Now what I have is my body. What can I use my body for? Some people go for prostitution. Very bad idea. Okay? You start with what you have. You have your body right now and strength. You have your mind. So go and get something that you can do with your body. Okay? You can go for lifting weights. You can go for... So start with something that you have. Some can say, I have 5K. The reason why many people fail is, I have 5K, but I want to start up a business of 2 million. Start with what you have. Now I have 5K. What can 5K do? The rich know that every capital you have, every money you have is a soldier fighting for you. Okay?
I have a point on that. They usually say, first of all, when you start on that point of capital, because I know that's what, as we are the youth, we are the future of Africa. So I know most people, as the youth, we have a problem with capital. I also have it. Yeah, but I came to understand and to learn that capital is not the problem. Brian, you know, there was a time money was there, but then there was fear. The fear to start. You don't know what to do. Yeah, you know you should start. You know it's the right decision, but you don't know what to do and how to go about it. And you're so afraid of letting go. But what I learned is that at the end of the day, you'll still lose it. Yeah? What you have in hand, if you don't grow it, you lose it. You remember the story in the Bible. A rich man gave someone this and the other one this. The one went and hid under the bed, the other one went and, invested it. So the one who hid, when the rich man came back, he took and gave it to the person who invested it. So because the person who invested can multiply it again. Start by trading your time for money, right? So get something you can do, something you are good at. Do it. Trade your time for money. Yeah. When you have some money, yeah, trade that money for more time. Now you can start thinking of what can you do with this money. At least within some time you can build up something.
Right now, what can I afford? Then number 2 is, how long am I going to continue like this? Then number 3 is, it's called the margin call. Like, this is the point where you have to ask yourself, am I going to the next level, or I'm making more losses than what I have? Now this is the point where people give up. Now you have to sit down, re-strategize your idea, and then move on.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want you to talk about top 3 priorities for wealth creation. I know we've talked about a lot, but we want to summarize.
Yeah.
So give us just, not basically from the book, but you yourself as an author, as a lawyer now, and your experiences.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 priorities for wealth creation?
Okay. The first one, I'll tell you, your company. Birds of the same feathers, they flock together.
Your company. Hakuna rais mnasikia?
They're good people.
Your company. Yeah? Yeah. So, the people you spend much time with, they program you and you think in the same line. That's why rich people, they stay alone, they be with fellow rich people. Then when you go to the slums, broke people, they're all found in the slums there. And the rich people are found in the Kilimani, Muthaiga, you get. Birds of the same feathers flock together. I'm going to start doing a research on the proverbs that are in this world. Most of those proverbs are true. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. A fool and his money are soon parted. A fool can never be rich. Solomon emphasized it 1,000 times in the book of Proverbs. A fool can never be rich. For you to be rich, you have to be wise. That's why every rich man you ask, why are you different from the rest? Why are you rich? They all go to, whatever they say, it is related to, that you can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of here. You see, so Ushago. So someone who has grown up in Ushago, you can't expect them to reason like a person who has grown up in the city. Yes. There's what they call street smart. Someone who has grown up in the city has seen it and knows that these are how things work. Contrary to what people do in the village, okay? I would advise all of you to read that book called The Biblical Principles of Making Wealth by Daniel Lapin. You can download it online. You don't need to buy it, okay? Hey, even if right now God comes to planet Earth and says there's too much injustice in this earth, all the money which is in this earth, I'm going to divide it to everyone equally. If God comes to earth and does that and shares money to us equally, let's say each one of us gets 20 million, everyone on earth has 20 million, and God goes back to heaven. In 2 months, God returns. That money will be back to one person, a few people.
Actually, I was talking to, I don't know.
You get?
Cha-cha.
Select your company. Make sure you're with people who have the same vision with you, with the same target with you. That's why I like Kapuna Race. You guys are targeting success. You get it? Whatever you're doing is towards a successful life. You go to gym, you discuss main issues, you get it? So that's a good goal, you get it? Which takes us to the next second thing.
Second point.
It's called a goal. You need to have a goal. What is your goal in life? A goal can also be called a purpose. All of us are here for a reason on earth, okay? I've also tested it that when you wake up in the morning and you have no goal and purpose, even life itself is boring. You yourself, if you don't fulfill your purpose, if you're not doing something which is in line with your purpose, you get depressed. You feel life is, you want to even commit suicide. You're like, I'm useless. Yeah, what am I doing here? Okay? Yeah, recently when we were, the days I didn't have papers, because I know I'm in the exam period, I don't have any other program for the day. If today I don't have a paper, imagine waking up in the morning, no goal. You'll be like, now what should I do? I would ask him, I'll tell him this guy will walk the other side. Imagine now. After walking, then you come back home, you sit like this. Now which movie can I watch? Then, like you see,
It's as if you are doing nothing before.
nothing.
You don't have any
It's
objective
just
at
in the
all.
wind.
Yeah.
Life without a goal is painful and useless, and it will never be successful. So you have to sit down as you yourself. Everything is about you. If you failed, it is you who has failed. If you've succeeded, it is you who has succeeded. Never blame anyone for your failure. Yes, your friends will betray you, but who allowed you to give them secrets? Who told you to let them into your life? Like, it all comes back to you as a person. Okay? So you get time, you as yourself, and sit down and say, there's no one coming for me, there's no one going to give me money for free, there's no one going to just do things for me. So what am I supposed to do to make my life better? Because your family is looking at you, your mom is looking at you. No mom wants a failure son. Every mom wants a successful son. So sit down and say, but now, what can I do to make life better? You as yourself, what are my abilities? What are my capabilities? What are my strengths? You get it? Everyone has one. Yes, you sit down. For me, what are my strengths? What can I do on this planet? How can I contribute on this planet? You start thinking, when it comes to life, okay, the same employment is good, but it is not good. Actual employment is good. The only good part of employment is it gives you capital.
Yes.
So don't go and work for someone for the rest of your life. Usually for us, even in the Jewish phenomenon, that these guys, they only have 3 professions that they take their children to study. Either their child is going to study medicine, if not medicine, their son is going to study law. If not law, their son is going to study business management. You choose one of the 3, okay? So he was explaining that their children, when they become lawyers, they only send you to a law firm to work for someone for a maximum of 5 years. The reason why they're sending you to work for someone, you don't exceed 5 years working for another person. When 5 years clock like this, start your law firm, start your business. Okay? So you are allowed to go and work for someone for 2 reasons. Number 1,
Skill set.
to get the skills. How does he run the law firm? How does he get clients? You're learning how he does his business. Now this is information. Takes us back to knowledge. You get, how does he do this? How does he get clients? How does he treat his clients? How has he done it? So you're learning from him. You spend 5 years learning how this guy runs his business. After spending 5 years learning how this guy does his business, the next thing you're getting from him is capital. He's paying you some money, right? In exchange for your time. So he's giving you capital. You're saving some money for your what? For your own law firm that you're going to start up. So you're getting capital. So 2 reasons: capital, experience. There are only 2 reasons you're supposed to work for someone. You said you go to a business. You said we can set up a parlor, a massage parlor. You get it? People are making money out of massage parlor. You say you go and copy the skills from that person, learn the skills from that person. Okay? Then you also set up something. Now a goal. You get a goal, and then spend your energy, your resources, your time fighting for that one goal. It's a natural law. It has to succeed. You get it? It's a natural law. It has to succeed. Okay? Yeah, so that is number 2, the goal. Number 3, discipline. Yeah. If you don't have discipline, you're wasting time. Yeah. All the greatest boxers in this world, all the greatest athletes in this world, all the successful people in this world, discipline. Because people like saying pastors are fake, pastors are prophets are fake, but I've not heard anyone say which doctors are fake. I've
No
not heard,
one no one can come out and say I went to a witch doctor and they are
You
fake.
get it. But some of the richest kids in Uganda, they go to South Africa. They have a club called the Billionaires Club. I'm told most of them go and they fake witchcraft. They fake that we are we are witch doctors. Then we can make you get wealth, but they are scams. But you know,
Even in Kenya.
you get it?
Even in Kenya.
You get it?
Young boys.
But
Should level
They're making
add
money.
that to our scammers list discipline.
we're talking about discipline, eh? So I was told one time that some of these guys, one of they actually they make you work and you think it's them who have given you chances. Like for example, I'm told there's a woman in Uganda. She will tell you, if you want to succeed and you want to become rich, now follow these rules. Get for you maybe like this thing. This one you can put it under the bed. It is useless. It does nothing. After putting it under the bed, make sure you wake up every day at exactly 5. By 5 you're awake. Go and open your shop. When you open your shop, you scream, money come, money come, money come, 3 times. And then start selling. Do you know what she has done? She has only told him a principle.
Yes.
Then he goes and does it because he has faith. The witch doctor says
Because
it will work.
it works.
So one time we were praying with these guys, and I told them there's a principle called affirmation. When you call money, it comes to you. So I told them, let us affirm money 20 times. It will come. So we started. Money cometh. I am rich.
And
Money
believe
comes.
it.
Money cometh. I am rich. We said it 20 times. 3 of us. That day, Ben going to, I told you, Walaya our pastor told us, it will come. Maybe it will leave someone's bank account. It will find a way of coming because of all
Just
this.
imagine, just
Money came.
What did Ben get?
Money
A
came.
miracle
Someone sent
happened.
him money by mistake.
a mistake. And the funny thing is, look, and the funny thing is, someone I know is just around
Yeah,
here.
someone
And-
around the house.
Yeah,
Just
around
taking
the
money by
house.
mistake.
And he just like, hey, Ben, man.
Me myself, that day I got some money. I told him when you call it, it will have to come. It's a principle. That's what the prophets use, by the way. The prophets, they use this principle by they call money. Because for them, they have authority. They speak and say, I want money to come now. It comes. They call it miracle money, okay? So, discipline. All these people are disciplined. Most of these guys will tell you, I want to sleep for 2 hours. And most of them work at night. Because at night, there's silence. People are sleeping. As you're sleeping, they are thinking of how they can get money from you. You get? So, they have principles. Now, all these principles we have mentioned, we have said them. They're very easy to say, but they're very hard to do. Very, very hard to do. And money doesn't want good people. Money doesn't go to emotional people. You don't go and cry, I'm broke, what, and you think money will come. It will never come to you. Money goes to bad people, ruthless people, drug lords. They have money. These people who deal in illegal businesses. You know why those people have money? Money loves good people, and money doesn't come to you because you're a good person or you're a bad person. It comes to you because you practice the principle that calls it. You get? You can't say, for you a drug
It
dealer,
it
can't
doesn't
come.
care.
It
if
doesn't
you're good or
care if
bad.
you're prostitute or what. For it comes to you as long as you practice the principle. You get? Now these drug lords, they are people who practice principle. They do the same principle every now and then, repeating the principle. They come to it until it works.
Disciplined motherfucker.
They are so disciplined. Look at Mayweather. They practice, they train, they go and work. You get it? So without discipline, forget. Now this discipline we're talking about is practicing the principles we have just said. They're not easy, but now it is discipline which makes you to do. Like it's you who says, now I'm going to discipline myself, I'm going to practice them. Don't say you're going to practice it once and it works. You keep doing this, practicing it. Then one day, that's why Napoleon Hill said, when you practice the principles and money starts coming, it comes at once and in abundance, and then you ask yourself, where have you been all this time?
You guy, chapter 10.
Let me first read this upper part here.
Okay.
It says, let your hands reflect the words that are coming out of your mouth. So be a doer. You say
Yes.
we are going to do this, we do it.
Yes.
Okay? Now, chapter 10, the title is Be Frugal.
Yes, be frugal.
So this is,
Frugal.
now let me begin reading chapter 10. Chapter 10 says, don't live beyond your means. That's all. That is the end
That
of
is
chapter
chapter 10.
That's chapter 10.
Now, why?
The reason why very many people are broke is because they are living beyond their means. Because you want to show the world that you're successful, that you're good, yet you're not, by the way. You want to live beyond your means. These guys at school, they come having iPhones. You know how much an iPhone costs?
I don't have one.
Now for you, they give you pocket money. You want to buy an iPhone so that you can match your friends.
Yeah.
Okay? Because everyone is wearing which sneakers? Balenciaga. Bro, you're going to hustle. You're going to go and work, collect money from here and there. You collect money, you get money like this. After getting it like this, you can buy Balenciaga. You see? Then afterwards, everyone, let's now go to the working class, not even people our age. Your workmates are all driving, we're using matatu. Then you save money, save your salary. After getting your salary, you go and what? You buy a car. A car is a liability. It is not an asset. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. An asset is something that brings money into your pocket. Kiyosaki keeps emphasizing, even building a house, it's an asset. Ham Chigundi, one of the richest men in Uganda, he says, you want to build a house like mine? Do you know how much money I spend on just maintaining this house per month? 40 million per month. Maintenance, lights, working in the grass, security, cameras, what 40 million per month. Just maintenance. He said the house is a liability. That's what he said. Each money you get right now, each coin you get, I was saying that point, is capital. Even if it is 100 shillings, that is capital.
Seed money.
That is capital. So that money is a soldier. Send it to fight for you. When it fights, it comes back with what? Prisoners of war. Each coin. You want to go and also say keep the change? Keep the change. You've left 2 soldiers behind one. Bring those soldiers home.
How are you going to win this?
How are you going to win this battle? Sit down. What can this 100 bob do for me? Find something. It can do something. It's a soldier. Okay. So don't live beyond your means. It was even written in the book, The Jewish Phenomenon. It said, they say Jews are stingy. Have you heard the saying that rich men are stingy?
Rich uncles are stingy.
They're not stingy. They're not stingy.
They understand the process.
They understand the process. They don't just give you money for free. Take. You have to do something for him to give you that money. You get? I have a certain friend of my dad, an accountant. He says for him, my dad was saying, I don't like going to the village. When you go to the village, the whole village comes to you for money. Then that guy was telling my dad, may I go to a solution for that? I go to the village comes to me for money. If it starts for you, I have a lot of projects here in this village. Which one have you participated in? None.
If you don't give
You,
value,
which one did you participate in? None. You get it? You
you have to give value
So,
for you to receive
guys,
money.
don't live beyond your means. I want to start life. You've gotten a goal. I want to start. Can I maintain this? No. Does this bring money into my pockets? No. Okay, I want to buy a car. A car needs servicing. A car needs fuel every day. Okay? A car needs parking sometimes. There's this guy who was interviewed. He said, the people are criticizing him. He's very rich. Everyone knows this guy is rich. He's in Uganda. I've forgotten his name. But then, when the man asked him that people complain that you're so rich, but you drive a very fake car. You know what he responded? He said, what is the use of a car? The use of a car is to remove me from point A to point B. He said, for me, that is the use of a car. He said, I have money to buy an expensive car right now. Then he even gave an example. Now, this is what caught my attention. He said one time, he said, people have talked too much, let me go and buy a car. He said he had 150,000 US dollars. Then he went to he went to some place to buy a car. I don't know, one of the bonds. He asked for the car. They told him this is a car, what? Very new, not second hand, with even this paper seal. Then he looked at it like this. He looked at the car and looked at the car, but he said, now my money just for this car. Yet I can move from village to... Then he said, no. He told the guy, I'll come back tomorrow, let me think about it. Then he got out of the bond. He said, when he got out of the bond, someone called him and said, there's a piece of land we are selling. Yeah, exact amount of money that he was going to use to buy a car. He said he used that money and bought that piece of land. That piece of land within 2 years was, I think, 6 times the price he bought it at. You feel me?
We've had a very good session.
True.
The book is very interesting, and I know part of the team have read the book. Now, I just want you to tell our viewers where they can get the book, maybe your social media handles.
Okay, thank you very much, first of all, for hosting me. Hakuna rahisi. Team, you guys have given me the opportunity to train on your platform, and I'm sure, 1,000 times sure, this changes lives. You know.
Yes.
The things we talk and tell people change their lives in a way that we don't understand.
Lion.
The first time I read this, first time I published this book, I gave it out. The first guy who read it came and told me, Brian, this book should be in every single school in Kenya because the information here is necessary for a lot of people. The second person who read this book, he just came and told me, man, this is powerful, this is awesome, this is too strong. Now, for me, because it is my knowledge, it's normal, I've mastered it 1,000 times. For me, I be like, this is general knowledge. To me, it is general knowledge. Yet I'm the one who knows it, and other people don't know. Other people are saying it's too much. So for me, I'll tell you the truth. without even prejudice, and a lot of people will tell you the same. The book has principles. I did a lot of research. I read a lot of books to collect the information that is in here. I made it precise because I know Africans don't like reading, so I made it precise and small so that you get the because for me, some people, even me myself, when you give me a book like this, I lose the appetite of reading it. That is so big. Napoleon Hill once wrote, one of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Every person is guilty of this mistake at one time or another. One needs to work harder and longer than others for success to be seen. You will need to do what majority doesn't do, and you won't be like the majority. You won't be like the majority are, just as we all know that the rich are the minority. The rich don't have the word impossible in their mouth like the majority. Remember, we want to be in the group of the majority of the minority, so we shall have to learn and do what the minority do. True wealth begins in a man's mind. You can build any house or company or own any property in your mind first through ideas, which we also call imagination. Then we transmute them into their physical equivalent by following the principles and laws of making wealth written in this book. The principles fall under the following: purpose, ideas, consistency, being frugal, and minding about the people around us. Only stay focused even when the storms rise, even when distractors come, by keeping your eye on the goal. Place all your energy on it together with the willpower to back that goal. Then here we said God moves in mysterious ways. He performs wonders. Yeah, that's it. So buy the book. You can get the book on the My Publishers platform. There's that online platform they have. It's called the Writer's Pen. You go there, you can order for the book on that platform. Yeah, so you can reach out to Hakuna Rahis. They'll find a way of making sure that book reaches you. Go to my writer's place and you'll find a way of reaching. You can contact me also, then I'll find a way of making sure the book is delivered to you. Thank you very much.
Your social media platforms?
I'm not a social media guy, so they will not find anything there. Yeah.
You're not on TikTok, but
I'm on TikTok, but I go to TikTok to watch Hakuna Rahisi.
Okay. You've had it here first. Yo, VP guys. This is King Edward from Hakuna Rahisi. I have read Insights of Wealth Creation by EMMANUEL EODU, and it has good information. It teaches you about how to run a business, how to create wealth, and I would recommend it for anyone.
OKJ here in it. So guys, Insight to Wealth Creation. This is the book you should be having as your personal assistant. If you want to know how to build wealth and to change your mindset.
Insights to Wealth Creation, something which is so interesting. Creativity is not a one-man thing. If you have to create wealth, find someone, pitch your idea, let them give their input. Your input, their input, you create something big.
The main reason why you should read this book is because of demand. Africa, we need to get knowledge. We need to wake up, because that's what is hindering us to be with the developing countries. So number one, this book is very precise to point. It has very clear and simple English. That's the reason why you should read it. It's very interesting, fascinating. It's not boring. So it's a very good book for you to read. And I've introduced the writer, the author in person. He's a very wise person. He's rich already. So that's the main reason why you should read this book.
This book is a house of knowledge. The Bible says that people perish for lack of knowledge. The only difference between us and us, the youth, the millennials, and people who are successful is the knowledge, what they harbor in their mind.
Hello. See you.